The story, titled Kimi no Sakura, wasn't discouraged. Curious about him, his classmates were staring at him, whispering, accepting his request without protest. She burst into laughter, saying she was own trash for constantly looking down on others. Her diary had brought them together, and through it, she found someone who saw her condition without being consumed by pity. She asked him to stay a little longer, noticing how soaked he was from the rain, and invited him inside to dry off. He accepted, changing into her clothes, and she finally handed him the book she had mentioned, with one condition. He must return it within a year, and more importantly, maintain their friendship. From that day on, Haruki devoted himself to fulfilling her remaining wishes. They spent joyful days together, their bond deepening. But just when everything seemed to be going well, Sakura was suddenly hospitalized, and Haruki, struck by fear, could no longer pretend that she was okay. Reality was catching up to them. Haruki visited Sakura at the hospital and, to his surprise, found her dancing alone in her room. She was embarrassed to be caught, but Haruki felt a wave of relief wash over him. Her vibrant spirit still shone through despite everything. Though their classmates had heard about her hospitalization, Sakura casually told them she was just having an appendectomy. Later, she and Haruki played their usual game of truth or dare. And during one round, he asked her what she believed the meaning of life was. Her answer was profound. She spoke about human connection, saying that to live was to love, to hate, to hold, to hug, and to be close to others. Her words moved him deeply, and he sincerely praised her. This time, when she stepped forward and hugged him, it wasn't a joke. It was real. Lately, she had begun to crave warmth, the touch of others that reminded her she was still alive. Just then, Kyoko entered the room, her face filled with disapproval. To diffuse the tension, Sakura quickly turned and hugged Kyoko too, leaving Haruki to quietly slip away. Days went by, and then Haruki received a message from Sakura saying her treatment would be extended by 2 weeks. The news unsettled him, and after school he visited her again, his chest tight with worry. She invited him to the hill behind the hospital, where under the soft glow of the evening, Haruki finally voiced his fears. He admitted how scared he was of losing her, and how much he hoped she would live on. Sakura, deeply touched, smiled and thanked him. She was happy to know someone truly cared, especially him. She promised she would tell him when her time was near. Then, as if on cue, the sky erupted in brilliant fireworks. It was another one of her wishes, to see fireworks with him, something they had missed during the summer festival. As the colors painted the night sky, she gently asked him to hug her again, this time to thank him for being there. Haruki held her close, and Sakura promised to invite him to the beach once she was discharged. Her words made his heart ache, fearing it might be her quiet way of saying goodbye. But fortunately, that wasn't the case. Soon after, she was released from the hospital, and the two made plans to meet at Spring Cafe, her favorite spot. Haruki arrived early and waited patiently, watching the door, hoping she'd walk through it soon. As Haruki waited at the cafe, his mind drifted back to the first time he met Sakura, a moment that had become one of the most important in his life. Her presence had transformed him, encouraging him to open up and connect with others, something he had always struggled with before. In a playful exchange, she sent him a message saying she was on her way, and in response, he teased her with the familiar line, "I want to eat your pancreas," echoing their inside joke. But as the hours passed, the seat across from him remained empty. The cafe eventually closed, and with a heavy heart, Haruki went home. That evening, he checked his phone again, still holding out hope for a message from her. Then, like a cruel twist of fate, the television flashed with breaking news. A high school girl had been murdered that afternoon. The name of the victim sent a jolt through his entire being. Sakura Yamauchi. The realization crushed him. She hadn't stood him up. She had been taken from the world. Haruki was devastated. The grief ran so deep that he couldn't bring himself to attend her funeral. Instead, he locked himself away, reading books and clinging to the one piece of her he still had, her diary, borrowed just days before her death. 10 days later, Haruki finally gathered the courage to visit her house and pay his respects. He offered his prayers and apologized to her mother for coming so late. Quietly, he revealed that he had known about Sakura's illness and, with trembling hands, asked if he could read her diary. Her mother broke into tears upon hearing his words. At last, she understood who her daughter had been writing about. Sakura had told her that one day, someone special, someone who knew her secret, would come, even if he didn't show up to the funeral. She had asked her mother to give the diary to him. Haruki opened the pages, reading her heartfelt memories, her thoughts about him, his quiet, mysterious nature, and even the moment he had frightened her. She had written of her loneliness, too, how she cried by herself at night, afraid and overwhelmed. The diary ended with her final hospital stay. As he was about to return it, her mother handed him a folded note at the very back. The message began, "Especially for you, whose name I never wrote." And with that, a final window into Sakura's heart began to open. What a heartfelt and beautifully told story. Thank you for sharing the entire summary of I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, Kimi no Suizou wo Tabetai. It's such an emotional journey that takes you through love, loss, and personal growth in such a powerful and quiet way. Sakura's letter at the end, revealing she had noticed Haruki long before they met and her feelings that went beyond friendship, is such a bittersweet and moving moment. It really shows how deeply she felt, even if she never got the chance to say it aloud. And Haruki's transformation from a quiet, withdrawn boy into someone who can open up, make friends, and carry on Sakura's spirit of living fully, man, that hits hard. Especially when he tells Kyoko, with such maturity, that he hopes they can be friends someday. It's like he's finally embracing the world she wanted him to see. This movie really does a number on the heart, doesn't it? The title might sound strange at first, but by the end, it makes complete sense in the most poetic way. Did you watch it recently, or are you thinking of watching it again?